You're watching High Voltage Diesel. We got something cool going on behind me. Let's get right into it. If you watched the last video, you already know a little bit of what's going on. If you want to know what the last video is, go back and watch the unboxing video and see what I bought back. Anyway, if you don't want to watch the last video, this is what we're doing. We have two beautiful Nathan Airchime K5 series horns. This is a K5 LA and this is a K5 HL. These are real locomotive horns. This one here is original paint off of a CSX locomotive that I bought almost 15 years ago. This is one that I bought almost 15 years ago, and then I sold and spent the last 2 years trying to get it back, and the guy finally gave in and sold it back to me. Super appreciative of that. That's excellent. I'm so happy, so thankful. Totally regretted selling these the day that I seen it go down the road. Glad to have it back. And as a lot of my viewers that watch me regularly are finding out, they probably didn't know, I am a locomotive horn collector. I have been collecting these things for a long time. I've had a lot of them. I've bought and sold, and it's just not something I really shared that much. But I would really like to start sharing it because it's really cool, and anyone that knows me knows that the bigger, louder, and heavier it is, the more I like it. So here we are. This is 2 of the 4 that I have currently. I used to have up to 13 sets, but I was dumb and I sold a lot of them and I totally regret it. And I'd like to start getting them back. I really miss messing with these. Anyway, enough of that. Let's actually get into today's video. So those of you who are not familiar with train horns, there are 2 major manufacturers. There's Nathan Airchime, which is who makes these 2, and there is Leslie. I've had a couple Leslie horns. Personally, I don't really like the way that they sound. They're pretty cool, but they're not really for me. I really like the Nathans. They made the P series, the M series, the K series, the J series. But anyway, without getting into too much detail, these are 2 K series, K5 because there's 5 bells. And I'm going to put up a chart right now. Now that you guys memorize that chart, we are going to take these 2 horns apart, bells rather, and we are going to make different combinations. As stated in my last video, I have all the major bells right here between these 2 horns. Now you can reference that chart anytime you want. The K5HL has a 1L, a 1, 2, 3, and 4 bell. The K5LA has a 1, 2, 3A, 4A, and 5 bell. That is all the major bells of the K series horn. So basically we can make a K5 LLA, a K5HA, K5H, a K5L. If I had a 3-chime manifold, which would be great, I can even make several different versions of K3s. A K3LA, K3HA, K3L, K3H, K3HL. I could make a lot of that kind of stuff and just make anything else that's cool. But that's basically what we're going to get into in today's video. First thing I'm going to do is give you guys a demonstration on what these 2 horns sound like in their original form. And then we're going to switch out the bells. A K5H has a straight 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, the H and the L in this configuration, in the K5LA, the L stands for low mount manifold. The K5HL, which is this one, The H in that stands for high mount manifold. You could tell by looking at these that this one sits much higher than the K5LA. You got 3 on top, 2 on the bottom. This one here, you still got 3 on top, 2 on the bottom, but instead of these 2 right here, they're more spread out, makes it a lot lower profile. The L in the K5HL right here stands for the 1L bell. The K5LA, the A in it stands for the 4A, excuse me, the 3A and the 4A bell. So we're going to take these horns apart, take the bells off the manifold, and we're going to make different combinations of what these sound like. But first thing we're going to do is take the bells off, and we're going to blow them all separately one at a time so we can hear the difference. This is something I've never tried before, believe it or not, as a train horn collector since basically 2010. I've never actually tried this before, and I've always wanted to do it, but never actually sat down to do it. And I'm glad I waited, because now I have a YouTube channel, and now I can share it with you guys. There's not many people that have done this that I've seen on YouTube. There's a lot of train horn guys on YouTube, but there's not a lot of guys that actually took 2 horns and mismatched and seen what things sound like. And I didn't ever see anybody on YouTube that actually took the bells and blew them one at a time so we can hear the different pitches and what they sound like. But before we take these apart, let's take them outside, give them a honk, so you can see what they sound like in their original format. We got a lot of snow here in upstate New York. Took a little bit of work to get through there. We got them set up. Yeah, they're kind of facing towards the ground, but don't worry. They're still gonna be plenty loud enough. I'm gonna bring you guys way back here, because when you're too close, the camera just kind of shuts out and you don't really get a good sound. So we want to get the best sound we can get. And there's the horns right there. Alright guys, that looks pretty darn cool. Okay, here it is in order. We have the 1L, the 1, the 2, 3A, 3, 4A, 4, and 5 bells. So this manifold here, these are the two common bells on both manifolds. So I decided that with this entire experiment we're going to do today, I am going to use the low mount manifold. Manifold generally doesn't really make a difference on the way the horn sounds. Just a little bit, but not really enough to mess with what we're doing today. So we are going to take the small blowgun and honk these all individually so we could see what all of them sound like individually. Now at the bottom of these K-series horns, there's just a tiny little hole and a rubber O-ring that seals that to the manifold. So this is perfect for just blowing it with a small blowgun. You can see what they all sound like individually. There is all of the 8 different bells all individually. If you notice, I've noticed that the 4A and the 4 bells sound very, very similar. You gotta keep in mind, there's many different variations of stuff. You know, these horns here are original and have probably never been rebuilt. These horns here have been remanufactured. And they got all new diaphragms and stuff in them. So, you know, this isn't really a super accurate test. But it's, you know, you can get 2 identical, like, number 1 bells, and they might sound just a little bit different. I mean, you know, these, I believe these are much older. Actually, I believe the K5 LAs are older. I believe from what I did research on, these are late 1980s, and the K5 HLs are like early to mid 2000s, something like that, I believe. So, you know, that even though they have the same number and the same layout on the back of the caps here, they got 30109 on both. They got the same kind of Airchime writing. You know, they're both very similar for the most part. And this one here definitely says 4A. And this one just has a 4 on it. You know, they're very similar. But this is what we have to work with, so this is what we're going to do. We already know what the K5 HL sounds like and the K5 LA sounds like, because that's what we have baseline to work with. So the first combination we're going to do is we're going to do a K5 LLA, which is a 1L, a 1, 2, 3A, and a 4A. We're going to mount them on a manifold, and we're going to see what them sound like. Okay, here is our first combination. The K5 LLA. But wait! This is the K5 HLA. Why is it an HLA instead of an LLA? Well, if you were paying attention, that's because it's mounted on the high-rise manifold. So basically what I'm going to do here is I'm going to keep the 2 common bells, the 1s and the 2s, the 1s and the 2s mounted on both of these, so I don't have to keep switching a million things, because it gets the same sound. So the K5 LLA or the K5 HLA are the same combination of bells, just different manifolds. So we have 1L, 1, 2, 3A, and 4A bells. So we're gonna see what this one sounds like. All right, here we go. The K5LLA or K5HLA. You know, just with these two horns, you can make 4 different horns by just switching 2 bells per horn around. Okay, so this is our next one. This is a K5L low mount manifold, or these same bells on this, it would be a K5H. So in this K5L, we just have a straight 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 bell. So we switched out the 3A for the 3 and the 4A for the 4. Just like a K5LA, but it's a K5L because there's no A bells in it. So this ought to sound pretty interesting. These K5Ls sound, or K5Hs sound really good in my opinion. I really like the way these sound also. So let's go give this one a honk. Okay, this is the K5L or K5H. Alright guys, what do you think of that? That is all the main K5 configurations. Now there's other hybrids and other stuff that you can make. You can make a 1L, 1, 2, 3, and 5, or you could make, you can make anything you want with these. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to see different configurations of these, and let me know what you'd like to see. But these are the main, the K5LA, the K5HL, the K5LLA, and the K5H, or the K5L. That's the basic 4 major ones, the popular ones that are out there. There's a few other combinations you could do. So anyway, we're going to do a bonus thing on this video. Let's check it out. I got a pretty good idea here. So remember how I was saying that there's several different combinations you can make with the 3-chime manifold? Well, I don't have a 3-chime manifold right yet, so I'm going to try something. I got 2 dimes here, and my plan is I wrap them with electrical tape to kind of make a soft seal. I'm going to put them over the hole and block the hole off on these, and just kind of lightly crank these down so I don't break them, and they'll basically block off 2 of the 5 holes on one of these manifolds, and then we could do some K3 configurations. Let me see if this works. Alright, so there we have it. That worked out pretty good. As you can see, I got a little space in there where the dime with the electrical tape is plugging off. So now we're focusing on just the top 3 bells here. We're forgetting about that one, forgetting about that one. So what we have here is a K3L or K3H. We have a 1, a 2, and a 3. This is pretty popular on Canadian locomotives. Usually call it Canadian tuned. So we're going to go out and give this a try. Hope that my little experiment works out and I don't blow a gasket. And we'll see what the K3L sounds like. This is the K3L or K3H. Okay, up next we have the K3HL or K3LL. We have the 1L, the 1, and the 2 bells. K3HL, K3, meaning 3 bells. H or L, high mount or low mount manifold. And the last L is the 1L bell. So I've never actually had one of these, so I'm pretty curious to see what it sounds like in real life. I think this is going to be a pretty cool sounding setup right here. This is the K3HL. Alright guys, last but not least, we have probably one of the most popular K3 style bells, which is the K3LA or K3HA, which is the 1, the 2, and the 4A. So this is very, very common. So let's give this a honk, and that'll wrap up the most popular K3 style train horns. I've had a set of the K3H and LAs. So this is a very common sound for myself. It was a very nice sounding horn also, especially in the distance. This is the K3LA. So that were the 3 main K3 configurations. The K3LA, the K3HL, and the K3L. There are several different combinations you can make of even K3, more combinations of K3 bells, because you're only using 3 bells instead of 5, so that leaves you more options. So leave in the comments, what other ones would you like to see as far as K3 goes? There's also some other configurations. There's 2 chime manifolds and even single chime manifolds. But we can get to them in another video. So I'm going to take these horns back apart, put them back together the way they were, and there we go. We are back to our original form, the K5LA and the K5HL. Tell me in the comments, guys, what did you think about today's video? I hope you liked it. It was definitely a lot of walking back and forth 100 times to the end of the driveway and a lot of dirty work, but we got it done. I am super thrilled to make this video. I had a lot of fun doing it. This is something I wanted to do for years, and I definitely am glad that I got to take you guys along for the ride. If you like what you see, make sure you subscribe, like. It really helps me out so I can make more of these videos. Make sure you leave in the comments on what different configurations you'd like to see in the future. I'd like to keep going with these videos. I have a couple other sets of horns that I would really like to share. I'm going to make a video on them as soon as I can get time. And we're going to keep on trying to collect here when we can. So I am going to give you guys a bonus clip at the end of the video, so make sure you stick around. I'm just going to go through all these kind of simultaneously instead of talking in between like I did during the video. I'm just going to go bam, 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 and they're all going to be in order. So I think that's going to be a really cool finale to today's video. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys take care, and I'd like to see you in the next video.